In my last video, I took a look at how the Democrats were meddling in Republican primaries. To date, they've bankrolled some of the most extreme election-denying Trump-endorsed candidates to the tune of $53 million, which made me wonder, what does the Democrat Party really stand for? So I did some digging around, and the one thing that I could find that all Democrats seem to have in common is this.
Well, I have respect for all of our members in the full spectrum of the big tent that is our Democratic Party.
Okay, so a political party that welcomes all people from different religions, ethnicities, sexuality, and social status. It's actually pretty cool. Except there's one problem with that. By collecting a diverse coalition of people with competing values, priorities, and agendas, how can you get everyone to move in the same direction? It's like herding cats. You essentially got a whole bunch of people who wear a Democrat uniform on the outside, but believe in something totally different on the inside. For example, inside the Democratic Party, you've got members who will tell you themselves that they're socialists, Democrat socialists. Then you've got members who profess to be green. And then there's the pro-labor Democrats. Not to mention a party within the Democrat Party that's known as the Working Families Party, who has their own logo, website, and fundraising that's separate from the Democrats. All in all, the Democrat Party is so wide open, it's nearly impossible to uncover what they stand for. Which means when you vote for a Democrat, you might end up feeling like an Alabama kid waiting at the bus stop.
My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
Meaning that when you vote for Democrat, you never know what you're going to get. So why do the Democrats insist on being the party with a tent that's so large? Senator Warren offers this explanation.
But we are in a two-party system. Mm-hmm. And in a two-party system, you better believe, Democrats need a really big tent. We need to win.
Ah, and that's when it dawned on me. The reason why Democrats insist on being the big tent party is for one reason, and one reason only.
Winning.
This explains why in the last presidential elections, they've allowed a non-member to hijack their presidential primaries. Bernie Sanders, who's been in Congress since 1990, has never been a Democrat. He's had more than 42 years to register as a Democrat, but he's chosen not to. He's like me. He's an independent. And yet, he's run in the Democrat presidential primaries in 2016 and 2020, and nearly won. Some of you might say, hey, Indy, doesn't that show how the Democrats are truly the most open-minded party? Well, from my perspective, not really. Because even though Democrats will allow an independent to run in their primaries, they forbid independents like me from voting in those very same primaries. In fact, only 21 states in the U.S. have open primaries. So why would Democrats allow a registered independent who doesn't believe in their party's platform to run for president in their elections? The only plausible answer I could find was
Just winning every day. Defeat not an option.
This burning desire to win at any cost explains why Democrat President Joe Biden has done an about-face on multiple positions that he's held since becoming president. Like this.
And we should make no mistake, this nuclear option is ultimately an example of the arrogance of power. It is a fundamental power grab by the majority party.
Let the majority prevail. And if that bare minimum is blocked, we have no option but to change the Senate rules, including getting rid of the filibuster for this.
Lately, when a Democrat is in office, only Forrest knows what's going to happen next.
You never know what you're going to get.
This explains why Democrats can't even agree on something as simple as policing.
Suck it up, and defunding the police has to happen. We need to defund the police.
To protect and defend in every way. is our oath of office.
We need to completely dismantle the Minneapolis Police Department.
We have to abandon the policy of defunding police.
We do not need military appareled police in our streets, in our communities.
And so, yes, I support the defund movement.
To believe that by putting more police on the street, you're going to have more safety. And that's just wrong.
We should all agree the answer is not to defund the police. It's to fund the police.
The problem with inviting anyone with a pulse into the big tent is that when Democrats hold the majority, it seems like they're forced to write bloated bills in order to repay all the favors they owe to their members and their donors. This explains why lately most congressional bills passed by Democrats are longer than most of Tolstoy's novels. This also explains why in their first year and a half in charge of Congress and the White House, the only bills they were able to pass with bipartisan support was legislation that renames post offices and federal buildings. Which brings me to the point of my essay. If Democrats don't even know what they stand for, maybe it's time we take a new look at our political system. When you look around the world, other political systems have more than two parties. This is because political parties are typically focused on one major core issue. In the United Kingdom, they've got the Labour Party, the Conservatives, the Liberal Democrats, the Democratic Unionists, the Green Party, Alliance Party, and a lot of other smaller parties. If you compared our party system to the UK's, the Republicans stand for conservatism, and the Democrats, well, they seem to encompass everything else. Which begs the question, what do Democrats really stand for?
You never know what you're going to get.